Hello everyone, welcome. In this lesson, we are going to be looking at financial data, the financial data of an e-commerce organization over 3 years. So we are going to be working on this for the next few weeks. Fortnightly, I'll be releasing videos, lessons that shows how we progress with working with this financial data. Let's quickly look at this data. So on this tab that we are looking at now is the income data, where all the income of the company goes into. So we have it by the account ID. So in financial organization, they call this GL account. Some organizations call it account key. That is the account that each income line goes into. So that is the account key. Then we have the region that account is reporting to. Then the division as well. Then we have the date and the amount. We also have the same thing for expenses, which is in its second tab, across the same lines, expenses. We also have our account ID for expenses. For any expense anyone makes, this is the specific expenses. So depending on the expenses, it goes into specific accounts. Whether it's telephone expenses, whether it's some capital expenses, there's specific account for each expenses. So this is now the budget for the income. Then this is the budget for expenses. So we are also going to be looking at actual versus budget. So month on month, quarter on quarter, just the dimension that you want to see. Then we go to the financial account, DIM Finance account. This DIM Finance account is what describes each of these accounts, finance account ID. So it described it like 396, for example. Now, the account ID stands for trading sales. Yeah, so sales that comes from trading. So that is what it stands for. While 421 stands for telephone expenses, which is on the expense side. So we have everything on one particular sheet. So then we have our account header. So the purpose of creating this is, as we know in our financials, there are some value that comes from the database, while there are some that we have to compute. So those that we have to compute are those indicated in yellow. So we have to compute this ourselves, like operating expense, net sales is the difference between gross sales and discounts, while gross margin. So gross margin is a percentage. So then operating profit. So operating profit is just difference between our total income minus expenses. Then we have other expenses, taxes. Then we take out taxes, then we compute our profit and loss. So we are going to be using a principle of running total to actually compute this using DAX. So running total with DAX. Then also this is our division. As we saw on the income data and on the expense, we have it by division. So on this division, on one Power BI dashboard, we'll be able to slice and dice by each division, expenses and revenues. For divisions that generate revenues, you see those revenues. So there's another dimension we have here, which is country. We'll also be able to slice and dice by country just on one dashboard. So some organizations these days do this kind of work on Excel sheets and share to different dimensions. We are going to configure this on Power BI. So configure it on Power BI and include a row level security so that it will just be limited to people we want to view that particular report. So that is all that we'll be covering for this financial data. And we should be covering this so we'll be coming fortnightly. So like within 2 months, we should be able to cover this. But if you want to cover this and more at a faster rate, you can register for our course. So we are going to release this course in 2 weeks' time. So you register 2 weeks' time from today, register for the course. We are going to put out the advert and all of those. So you get to register for the course. Then you can just take from, if you're a beginner, if you're new to Power BI, so it's meant for you. If you are also at a mid and advanced stage and you still want to learn more, this course is meant for you. It's really, really loaded and it will help you in your Power BI journey from data cleanup to visualization. So really nice course and I think you should take it. So this is all we'll be covering for these financials. and all of this. So this will also be included in the course content while we are done. Meanwhile, on what we have in the course already, we have financials for a financial organization like a fintech or a bank. What they typically look at on their financials is there on the course. So that will be all for this lesson. See you in the next lesson.